In this video, we'll talk about the layout of the Titan, how to power it up, some of the screen layouts, and how to move an axis. The Titan layout consists of basic components, the emergency stop locations, and the machine travel limits. Some of the basic components include the control, which is used for all operations, the MPG, which is also known as the remote or pendant, the table, which is the working area of the machine, the bridge that carries the cutting head or spindle across the table, and the overhead laser projector for placing parts. Emergency stops will turn the system off and disable all functions. There are 5 emergency stops on the Titan. There is one on the controller, there is one on the MPG, the beam from the front photo eyes are also an emergency stop. There are photo eyes at the back of the machine as well. And the 5th emergency stop is the pull cord at the back of the machine. Either press in one of the red buttons, disrupt a safety beam, or pull the cord in the back to e-stop the machine. Pulling the cord will also change the blue switch to 0, which is off. This switch will have to be turned back on before you can enable the system. Activate any e-stop to disable all machine motion. A message will be displayed when the machine is in the e-stop condition. Clear the message by fixing the condition. Then you may turn the system back on. Be familiar with the working area and never enter it while the machine is in operation. Apply power to the overhead laser first because it takes 30 minutes to warm up. Turn on the main power at the disconnect. There may be one on the wall as well. Turn on air and water valves at the wall if you have them. Turn on or check that the air and water valves at the machine are turned on as well. On the side of the machine, we have the recycled water valve, the fresh water valve, and the air valve. Complete the power-up by double-clicking or double-tapping on the Park Industries icon to start the interface. It may take a couple minutes to load. The maintenance screen is the first screen to be displayed. Perform the required maintenance and then choose Acknowledge from the drop-down. If Acknowledge is not an available option in the drop-down, you will have to log in as a user with maintenance rights. Choose the user login from the top of your screen. Click on Login and then select the username from the drop-down list. Click in the password area to enter your password and then select OK. Press OK on your user menu and then close out of the user menu screen. Now you can select Acknowledge and then Confirm. Use the maintenance manual to perform the maintenance level that you acknowledged. Go to the information screen and then choose the maintenance manual display. Then perform the level of maintenance required. If there are any conditions shown in the alarm and message area, correct the conditions and then press Reset to clear them. Now you can enable the system by pressing the System On button. The interface powers up to the Operate screen, displaying auto function buttons. You can select buttons on the right to control what the screen displays. Then you can select one of the buttons across the bottom to choose the functions that are displayed. Display the Operate screen with manual function buttons to jog the machine. Press and hold one of the 6 arrows in the desired direction to travel. You can first set the speed of the motion by adjusting it in the motion override area. Change and adjust the feed rate by moving the slide. The Titan is protected with over-travel limits. Motion will automatically be stopped at the end of each direction with the exception of Z-. Before moving the X or the Y, notice the position of Z is currently at a -3. You can also look at the machine and see that the tool is too low. The labels on the shroud will be helpful. Here we see that Z needs to be moved in the positive direction. You can either press the Z positive arrow to move Z to 0, or you can set the value of Z to 0 by clicking in the field, entering the value, and clicking Enter. And then from the Go To column, choose the Z-axis button. When you press the button, you will see that Z moves to 0 at the machine, and also Z0 is displayed in the position screen. You may move any of the axes either direction using either method that were shown. Get familiar with moving the machine before there are any obstacles placed on the table. There is also a Park Machine button available. When you press this button, first the Z will raise to 0, and then the X and Y will move to a preset position that was specified in the setup screen. The MPG can also be used to jog the machine, but it really was meant for precise movements, such as setting up tooling. The button on the left side is used to turn on or enable the MPG. This is a 3-position switch. It is normally off when the button is out, and it is enabled when the button is pushed to its second position, the on position. And if the button is pushed harder, it will click into its third position, which is again off. Choose an axis to be moved from the axis selector switch. There are 3 buttons used to control the feed rate. F1 sets it to 1/1000th of an inch per click. F2 is 10/1000ths of an inch, and F3 100/1000ths. Rotate the dial clockwise to move the machine in a positive direction, and counterclockwise to move negative. When you're familiar and comfortable with operating the Titan, you can move on to running a program. Running a program on the Titan includes loading the program, setting up the table, some operation settings, and running the program. Thank you for choosing Park Industries.